Counter-Strike Global Offensive's unpredictable pace and strategic nuance can make it a tough game for new spectators to appreciate. That's why we've broken down the rules of Valve's hit shooter. With this quick guide, you'll be able to keep up with the action the next time you watch a pro game. Counter-Strike Global Offensive is a tactical, team-based, objective-driven first-person shooter that rewards cooperation and game sense over a positive kill-death ratio. In competitive CSGO, 2 teams of 5 face off as terrorists and counter-terrorists, or Ts and CTs for short. The game mode, played pretty much exclusively in pro games, is bomb defusal, where terrorists attempt to plant and detonate a C4 bomb, and counter-terrorists work to stop them. Counter-Strike has no respawn system, so when a player is killed during a round, they're out of the game until the next round starts. This means every player, every move, and every decision counts. Games take place across 30 rounds lasting 1 minute and 45 seconds each. After 15 rounds, teams switch sides. Whoever takes the most rounds by the end of the game wins. If there's a tie, the game goes into overtime, where players continue to compete in additional rounds determined by the tournament rules. To win a round, terrorists must successfully plant the C4 at a bomb site within the 1 minute 45 second timer, and keep CTs busy for the 35 seconds until the bomb detonates. Even if all terrorists are killed after the bomb is planted, they still get the point for that round if the CTs fail to defuse it in time. The counter-terrorists win if they can defuse the C4 or prevent the terrorists from planting it to begin with. Successful CTs will kill the entire terrorist team or hold them off until the round time is up. Terrorists can also win by eliminating all the CTs first, but because rounds are timed, terrorists have more reason to prioritize the objective rather than focus solely on kills. Before any of this happens, players need guns. CSGO's arsenal includes a collection of pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, machine guns, submachine guns, and grenades, as well as Kevlar armor, a single-shot stun gun, and a bomb defusal kit that decreases the defuse time from 10 seconds to 5. Players come equipped with 2 free weapons at the beginning of the game, a knife and their default pistol. A match always starts with a mandatory pistol round, where each player gets $800 to spend on some variation of armor, grenades, a new pistol, or a defusal kit as CT. There's a period of time at the beginning of each round for players to buy equipment using the money they've earned from completing objectives and killing enemies in previous rounds. Even losing earns teams a bit of cash. Survivors of previous rounds carry their current gear to the next one, but they can still buy new stuff if they need to. Deciding on a loadout doesn't just come down to having enough money to spend. A good team's buying decisions are deliberate and often a group effort. EGA rounds, short for economical, occur when a team has lost the previous round and decides to potentially sacrifice the next few by buying little to no equipment. This way, they can save enough money for a worthwhile comeback a few rounds later. A team doesn't necessarily need to lose a round to decide to save money. Sometimes being frugal goes a long way. Players can also save money by ditching the objective so they can survive to the end of the round and carry their current weapon into the next one. Different teams and players will have their own strategic approaches and weapons of choice, but it's important to remember the depth of CSGO's money system, even if you're just spectating. Bomb defusal maps in CSGO follow the same general layout. Terrorists spawn on one end of the map and counter-terrorists on the other, with 2 bomb sites labeled A and B somewhere in between. Depending on the map, there may be several ways to reach each bomb site as both T and CT, which creates hugely important tactical opportunities. Timing and positioning are key when a round starts. Ts may decide to take a single bomb site as a group, or split down the middle until they can better gauge the CT's position on the map. CTs will usually have teammates guarding both sites until they can make an informed decision about where the Ts have decided to hit. CSGO always requires cooperation and communication. Players will use map callouts to identify enemy positions or to guide others when there's a change in plans, but they also need to know how to operate when it's down to 1v1. Because the course of a game can be completely unpredictable, players need good game sense to help determine what the enemy is up to even before a round starts, and how they should change their tactics when their estimations are wrong. Of course, while a good sense of foresight will get players far in CSGO, a little raw skill doesn't hurt either. Remember that watching a broadcasted pro game is different than watching a live stream of one player. In a tournament, you'll be able to see outlines of all players through the walls or overhead views of the action, which is not something the actual players can see. Perspectives will switch from player to player across both teams, so you might only get glimpses of what's happening in different parts of the map. Commentators are there to explain the action while it's happening.
Excellent positioning right there by Exist.
But the more you watch Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the more you'll learn about the complexities and language of its action, and the easier it will be to follow your favorite competitive teams. For tips on actually diving into the game yourself, check out our video on how to play Counter-Strike Global Offensive. For more on esports in general, stay tuned to IGN.